told you guys how much I love cookies? And what's better than just a regular old cookie? How about a make-ahead cookie? How about a freezer cookie? Today's cookie can be made ahead, frozen, and shaped into a log, and whenever you want a cookie, even if it's just one, you can slice pieces off, bake them up, and have delicious fresh cookies whenever you want. It's an almond shortbread cookie. Delicious. I've started with 2 sticks of unsalted butter, room temp, and a cup of confectioner's sugar. To that I'm adding 3/4 teaspoon of almond extract. Pretty strong. I'm actually going to use a half because I find almond extract very, very, very strong. You can use 3/4 teaspoon if you like an extra almondy kick. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of coarse salt. Cream that together. You might want to start on kind of a low speed because confectioner's sugar will fly everywhere. See? I mean, it's on low speed and it's flying everywhere. Once everything is beginning to combine and the confectioner's sugar and the butter are combined but not creamy, you can turn your speed up a little. The great thing about the confectioner's sugar in this cookie is it gives the shortbread a fantastic sort of crumbly texture, which I particularly love. When your mixture is nice and creamy, you can stop and add the zest of 1 orange. I'm just going to do it right over the bowl. You need about a teaspoon or so. But oranges don't have a ton of zest on them, so about 1 will make a teaspoon. Make sure that you scrub it first, get rid of all the wax, and or use organic. I always say that. I mean it. I mean, if you're eating the skin, you know the rest. And also add 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to turn my mixer on and start mixing slowly as I'm adding the flour. Let's see what happens. It's a little easier to do this adding of flour and mixing at the same time if you're using a stand mixer, but I did it. I managed. Same thing with the flour as with the confectioner's sugar. Start on low, and then you can turn it up to high to make sure everything is fully combined. You're gonna have to because my batter is sticking into my mixers. That's not good. Normally I would say let this come together in the bowl, but I can see that everything is equally moistened and it'll hold together when it's pressed. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my almonds, 3/4 cup of sliced almonds. You can use the blanched almonds or you can use the ones with the skin on. These have skins on. Stir them in, fold them in, and then what you wanna do is shape this into a log and wrap it in wax paper, parchment paper, plastic wrap, anything, and get it into the freezer. You can leave it in the freezer for at least an hour, but you can leave it up for up to 3 months if you wrap it properly. If you are gonna freeze this for more than 1 day, make sure that you tightly wrap it in plastic wrap so it doesn't get freezer burn or develop any off flavors from your freezer. This looks good. I'm just gonna go ahead and put my wax paper out and then put my dough onto the paper and form it into my 12 by 2.5 by 1 inch thick log, approximately. You just want a nice evenly shaped log. Let's see. My hand span's about 8, so that's about 12 inches long. Make sure everything gets pressed really firmly together so it doesn't crumble when you slice it. That looks pretty good. Now just wrap it up, freeze it, and you can have cookies whenever you want. You can give it one more nice press right in the wrapping. Helps keep everything in place and make it really nice and neat. If your dough has been freezing for more than an hour, you might want to let it sit out just a few minutes before you try to slice it. Otherwise, it could be a little bit too hard. If it's super hard, up to 30 minutes. Then just slice it about 1/4 inch thick. I like to use a serrated knife. I think it cuts through the nuts really well without breaking them. But the sliced almonds are really good for that because they're already sliced, so they don't get in the way. So cut as many or as few as you want, about 1/4 inch thick, and have your oven preheating to 325 degrees. See how nicely this is slicing? If you want them extra thin and extra elegant, slice them 1/8 inch thick and just bake them slightly less. Put them on an unlined baking sheet. You don't need to leave too much room. I'd say about 1 inch between. Have your oven at 325 and then bake them until they're golden brown and set, 20 to 25 minutes. And you'll have cookies in no time, especially if you did it ahead and put them in your freezer. I'm just gonna enjoy my make-ahead freezer cookie with a little cup of tea. What do you think about that? I think it's a fantastic idea. They're nutty and delicious. They're not only make-ahead, they're freezer make-ahead, so you can have them on hand whenever you want. Make them today. Eat them in 3 months. Have a good weekend. Hi guys, thanks for watching this video. Be sure to click here if you want to subscribe and click over here if you want to continue watching more great videos like this.